tying up a popular little soft hackle nymph pattern today. This is called the Mr. Rapidan Soft Hackle Nymph. And it's kind of a cross between a soft hackle, more traditional soft hackle fly with the nice long soft hackles like in the spider family, and a traditional nymph. The rear portion of this is, I should say the whole body is actually just dubbed, a little bit of a rib, and it's very, very simple and basic like a regular trout nymph would be. Now, Harry Murray has got a fly shop you can go out and take a look at. There's a lot of different flies he's come up with for sale, as well as getting tying instructions on them. Has a whole series of Mr. Rapidan flies, and this is the soft hackle fly. He also has written a great book, in my estimation, the best smallmouth book that's ever been written on smallmouth fly fishing. So if you're interested, great resource, lots of useful information, and this is a very, very fun and versatile fly to tie. That's the Mr. Rapidan Soft Hackle. I'll get started tying. I'm going to start the Mr. Rapidan with my hook and the vise. This is a Mustad 3906B in a size 12. Hard to debarb that one. I got it because this particular jaw, the curve is so far back in there, it's sometimes hard to get in there on these smaller hooks. Now I'm going to add some weight to this. It's just it's a very, very versatile, practical nymph pattern. Like all of these, you can either add some weight or not add weight. It's up to you. And the exact weight that you use, again, experiment a little bit with. I'm using this is a lead-free wire in a 0.015 lead-free. If you want a little bit more weight, go with the 0.02. I'm going to put 8 to 10 wraps on here. Don't necessarily want to fill up the hook shank, but I just want a little bit of extra weight on this just to help it get down a little bit. If you're fishing this in still water and you're wanting to target fish that are maybe a little bit shallower, just above some weeds or something, maybe no weight, in a stream and or in like a bluegill pond or something like that, definitely put some weight on that. I'm going to attach my thread. For thread, I'm using a 70 Denier UTC Ultra thread in an olive color. And the olive color is simply because of the color scheme for this particular nymph. The Rapidan is a very straightforward nymph in terms of the body. It has a dubbed body. It has a rib to it. And it basically has a palmered soft hackle, and that's it. So, but the body is made up of two different types of dubbing, and you can vary this up in different kinds of colors and things like that. So I'm using the olive simply because I'm going with more of a natural or olive colored rear dubbing. So I'm going to attach my thread. Once I get to that lead, I'm going to reach back to the back, and I'm going to attach my thread behind it, and then put a little bit of a jam knot in there to secure that thread and secure it up against the lead there. Then I'm going to wrap forward, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a thread dam in here. This gives you a nice little transition so that we don't have a ledge if we're putting in dubbing or we happen to be putting in a collar right there. It doesn't have that ledge to get hung up on or pop off of. So I'll put that thread dam in there to also keep that lead right where I want it. Just back from the lead a little bit, but not to the very end, I'm going to tie in a rib. I'm just using some medium copper wire. You can use a gold or silver, depending again on your color scheme and what you're looking for. It's my understanding that only the rear portion of the body is actually ribbed. The front portion of the body that has the brighter Antron in it does not have any of the ribbing on it. I may be wrong there. attach that rib, and then I'm going to set my thread right at the rear portion for the rear portion of dubbing. Now, the Rapidan Soft Hackle basically has two parts to the body. There's a natural dubbing in the back, so a natural fur. You could use rabbit, you could use beaver, you could use squirrel, you can use, a mix, whatever you want of the color and everything that you're looking for. But the front portion is generally always going to be an Antron, and in this case, this is just a bright yellow Antron. I imagine you could do like a bright orange if you wanted to, or a bright green, but it's my understanding the traditional Mr. Rapidan Soft Hackle is a yellow. Now I'm using a squirrel dubbing. This is just a natural fox squirrel dubbing. It has kind of a brownish grayish color to it. It has some nice spiky guard hairs in it. I'm going to make myself a dubbing noodle here and advance this forward. Ideally, you're going to want the natural portion to be about 2/3 the body, and the last third of the body is going to be the Antron. However, having said that, sometimes it's difficult to gauge that. I would prefer to gauge on the side of error, so I would go 50-50. So as I'm putting this on, if I get enough on here and it's tapered and it looks nice and everything, and I'm only halfway up the body with this, that's not quite enough. I might, especially if I were halfway up, I might stop right there and just do the rest of it in the bright Antron. In this case, I'm going to go just a little bit more, but you want to make certain that you're not going so far forward. See, I'm getting a little further forward than I want to be to get that Antron in. I like to trim these guard hairs back just a little bit when I'm just tying it. Now they're going to get pulled out when it's being fished, and that's fine. Even if you use a rabbit or something, you're going to have a bunch of guard hairs coming out of it, but now I'm going to wrap that rib in. I'm going to get about 3, maybe 4 wraps. It depends on the length of the body. You could also tie this on a little bit longer nymph hook if you wanted to. Securing that in. I'm going to wrap that down real well. And then I can fatigue the rest of that wire off. Just smoothing this off just a little bit. I'm going to bring my thread back to right up to the body here, and here I'm going to put the Antron on. Just got some of this Antron. The Antron is a much longer fiber to it than the squirrel. So I prefer to make a longer dubbing noodle, maybe 3 inches, something like that, maybe 4, but make it very sparse. That way you can go back and forth over the space that you're trying to fill up with dubbing. That does 2 things for you. It gives you greater control over the shape of it, as well as that thread going over that dubbing is going to help to reinforce that dubbing a little bit. See, that's what you're looking for, is just a nice bright spot right up in front. Now it looks like we're about ready to crowd the eye, but we're really not. I'm still a good eye length behind the eye of the hook here. Now the hackle on a soft hackle, I think all the ones that I've seen pretty much are tied with a speckled hen hackle. I've seen them anywhere from a grayish speckled hen to a brown or even reddish speckled hen, but that doesn't mean you couldn't use a partridge or a grouse or even a pheasant hackle or something like that if you wanted to. So I have a hackle here that the barbs, which are going to be the last barbs right here, are going to be pretty much the length of the hook. They're going to be from where they're tied in here to about the bend. And isolate the tip here like this, trim away the excess, and I'll tie that tip in right in front of that Antron, wrapping that in nice and secure, and then bringing my thread right to behind the eye of the hook. With my hackle pliers, sweeping these barbs rearward, I'll start wrapping this in. I want to get each wrap right in front of the other one. Probably get 3 to 4 wraps in here, believe it or not. That's going to put me almost, I get one more, going to put me right about to the fluff in that feather. I bring my thread over, holding the thread down, I secure that, rake us in. Now I fold all of that back, and I start to make the head from behind the eye of the hook rearward. This is going to help me shape the head. It's going to trap that rachis underneath it, so I can just take this and pop it off. It also gets all of those hackles, making certain that they are, those barbs, in a perpendicular or rearward direction. Smoothing that off just a little bit. I will now put in my whip finish. Just flattening this out just a little bit. There's my whip finish and a little bit of head cement on here just to soak down in those thread wraps and secure that. And that is the Mr. Rapidan Soft Hackle Fly. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, Harry Murray has got some fantastic flies out there. You can go look at his website, and he sells many of them. And also sells the recipes for these and some tying instructions for some of them. So if you want to get more of those, but if you're into smallmouth fishing, hands down, in my opinion, his book on smallmouth fishing is the best that's ever been written. It is a fantastic book. And this is, you can tie this even in a bigger size and catch smallmouth with it. But this size is great for panfish and trout, and you can go down to a size 14 even for trout if they're being a little bit more selective. But it's just a great little attractor pattern. It doesn't mimic any one thing, but it can look like a lot of things. That's the Mr. Rapidan Soft Hackle. Thanks for watching today. Thank you for joining me at the Vice today. I hope you learned a new pattern, at least a tip or trick here and there. If you'd like to help Dress Irons, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things for the video. You can also head out to dressedirons.com where you can buy flies, tools, stickers, and merch, or you can join a growing community over on Locals at the Dressed Irons Fly Tying Guild. You can also donate to Dressed Irons if you want through the link at the bottom of the description. I thank everybody for their ongoing support, as it really does help the creation of these videos. And what's important is to remember, only fly tying. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.